All right, here's game two of my 2002 season tournament. The Detroit Lions, the 16th ranked team in the NFC, faces the number one ranked team, the Eagles. The Eagles really are on paper unbelievable. 415 points scored. They went 12-4, gave up only 241. This was an Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb team that was fantastic. This team would go on to four straight NFC championships. They did make it to the Super Bowl in four. Detroit, this was a bad period for the Lions and the fans as they just weren't very good. So I suspect Philly will destroy them in this game, but we're going to find out as the Raiders had to fight off a feisty Cincinnati Bengals team. All right, so Detroit will get the ball first. They do not have a kick or punt return. And we're going to roll first for offense, defense. Yep. So Philadelphia's defense is going to dictate things to Detroit. 8 is a punt. So Detroit will be forced to punt on their first drive. Not a surprise. Punt return right now for Philly. A 4 scores. No. So Phillies use their punt return. And here we go. Philadelphia, offense or defense, getting it done. It's going to be the defense. So Detroit's defense dictating to Philly. 8 is a punt. And no punt return for Detroit. So Detroit, what happens on offense, defense? Offense. So Detroit goes to work. They've got the upper hand on Philly, at least they think. 5 is red zone. They sure do, folks. And Detroit with a 4. It's a touchdown run for the Detroit Lions. Holy cow, their extra point is good. PAT. And Philly now up against it. Philly goes to work on offense. And 10 is going to be a punt. Uh-oh. Detroit, do they get their extra drive? They do. Detroit goes to work. It's their offense again, folks. Interesting. It's going to be 8, which is a punt. And Philly always gets their extra drives. It's outstanding. That's part of what makes Philly so good here. And offense. 7 is a red zone drive. Here's where they tie it up, folks. 6, yep, touchdown pass. You know who that is, Donovan McNabb. And their extra point is also automatic. So there will be no way that Philadelphia leaves an opening for Detroit with missed field goals. With missed PATs. And they're going to get all their extra drives. So the Lions are up against an incredibly efficient football team. And that's not good for a team that went 3-13. Uh-oh, Philly's defense also very good. 4, it's going to be a fumble. So Philly's going to get a fumble. Philly returns a fumble on Snake Eyes. No, but Philly goes to work. It's going to be their offense. Uh-oh, doors are about to come off this thing. Punt. No, they're forced to punt. Philly can't convert. Detroit's looking at the Philly D again. 8 is punt. I think Philly's going to shut out Detroit. Philly's on offense. And it's going to be 5. That's red zone. And 8 is a field goal for Philly. Detroit, do they get their final drive? They do. Does time expire? It does. So nothing there for them. Philly, they get their extra drive. Does time expire? It does. So both teams eat up the clock. Lions are shut out. Philadelphia musters only 3 points. It's 10-7 at halftime, folks, thanks to a short second quarter. All right, Detroit goes to work. They're going to be looking at their own offense. And 7 is an interception. Horrible place to have a pick, folks. And they don't return it for a touchdown. Philly goes to work. They're going to be looking at that Detroit defense. 6 is red zone. This is it. Big chance for them. 6, TD pass. Donovan McNabb stretching out the lead now with another touchdown pass. Detroit goes to work with their offense. 12 is a turnover on downs. 12 is an interception. Chance at a safety. Oh, safety. My God, Philly. So it's not an interception. It's going to be a safety. 2 points for Philly. Oh, that's epic. Philly, what's going on? Philly on offense. 6 is red zone. Now doors are coming off. 7, TD. Another TD pass for McNabb. And Detroit, do they get their extra drive? They do. They might not want it if they're giving up safeties, folks. Offense, 10 is punt. And of course, Philly gets their extra drive. And that extra drive starts on their offense, and it's going to be 8. 8 is punt. But Philly scores 16 points in the third. Boom, boom, boom. Yep. And nothing for the Lions. An interception and a safety. Holy cow. All right, Detroit. We're going to start with Philly because Philly's winning. So let's go with Philly. Philly's on defense. 8 is punt. All right, Detroit with a chance to come back. Offense. It's going to be 6 red zone for them, and they're going to muster a touchdown run. Good for Detroit. The extra point here is good. Okay, Philly. It's going to be looking at that defense again, and it's going to be 9. Another punt. Philly being held to punts in the fourth. Detroit looking at their offense. And they're going to get a red zone trip again. Uh-oh, Detroit coming back, folks. Touchdown pass. You got to be kidding me. That's 14 points. Holy cow. It's 21 to 26. Okay, Philly, they get their extra drive. Does time expire? It does not. So Philly's going to need this extra drive. It's going to be their own offense. Punt. Uh-oh. Folks, they've left the door open for Detroit to win this ball game. This is epic. Detroit, do they get their extra drive? Maybe. Does time expire? It does. Oh, time expires on that's sad. They could have won this game. 14 to nothing in the fourth. 21 to 26. The Eagles are going to go on. Detroit's going to lose 0-1. It should be that way, but both the best teams in the conference got a bit of a spook as the Raiders squeaked by. The Bengals squeaked by. 24-13 is not squeaked by, but they got a little bit of more of a... no doubt, though, the Eagles were lucky here because the Lions, if they had gotten that final drive and scored a touchdown, folks, the Lions would have upset the Eagles. That would have been crazy. That would have been absolutely nuts. Another brilliant game. Right here, the time ran out on both teams in the second. Really shortened that quarter. That helped the Eagles technically because a full quarter might have seen the Eagles, Lions get something, which would have changed this. And then fortunately, Philly punted, but Detroit just ran out of time. Couldn't get it done. Unbelievable. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.